Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we are on. This is a live stream, and tonight is going to be wild, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it's Friday, it's Halloween, and there are all sorts of crazy things happening around the world tonight. I don't know if you guys can hear the bells. I've just heard them now. The church bells ringing. Look, guys, I've got an exclusive update from on the ground in Ukraine. Also, Venezuela looks like it's ready for war. So we're going to be focusing on Ukraine. We're going to be focusing on what's happening in Venezuela. But look, guys, let's not forget also as a punctuation to this live stream that what's happening here in the United Kingdom on the streets every day. Every day now, guys, there's another stabby, there's another rape. There's all stuff happening. Turns out now, if you live in the United Kingdom, I'm sure you guys have seen this on the news. Oh, guys, yes, we are triple streaming again. We are triple streaming. You guys on TikTok. So I am on TikTok, guys. I am going to focus. I'm going to start to focus on YouTube because the algorithm on TikTok, it restricts me all the time. Literally, somebody insulted me the other day and I got banned. That's how they roll on TikTok, guys. Okay, so somebody insulted me on TikTok, the comment, and then the live stream got banned. So look, guys, I'm just going to leave the TikTok comments. I'm going to leave the TikTok chat. We are triple streaming this evening, guys. We're on YouTube, we're on X, and we are on TikTok. If I do see a comment on TikTok, and it catches my eye, I will respond to it, obviously. So the chat is open on TikTok, guys. What I'm going to do as of tomorrow because I've only just found out how to do it on YouTube. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing members only. I'm going to be doing members only videos on YouTube, guys. I'm going to be doing members only videos. I've got quite a few members now on YouTube, so I will be doing the members only video. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. So I've got an exclusive update for you guys from on the ground in Ukraine. Now, I've spoken to a few people today who are out in Ukraine. One of the guys I was speaking to, he's highly credible. Obviously I can't give you his information. And I know, you know, when people come out on the news and they say, we're not going to reveal our sources. I totally get it now because this guy is in the thick of it and he doesn't want his name mentioning. He doesn't want people to know that he's involved in this sort of stuff. And I totally understand that. But what the update on the ground right now is, if you guys remember the live stream I did earlier this morning, one of the things I said is, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I do not think that the town of Pokrovs is going to last till Monday. I spoke to a friend of mine, I've known him quite a while. He's very credible. He said, look, Sean, that town has already fallen. We've moved all our guys back. We've moved all our assets out. We have absolutely gone. So I put it to you guys, and I'm reporting this before the mainstream media. I am reporting this, guys, before the mainstream media. I'm putting it to you for speculation. I'm on TikTok. Speculation, for analysis, for entertainment purposes only. I'm putting it to you guys that the town of Pokrovs has already fallen. We just haven't been told. Now, what does that mean on a wider context? Why should you care? That means that now there is nothing, literally nothing but open fields. There's nothing but open fields from that town of Pokrovs to the River Dnipro. And if you get up to the River Dnipro, you can start putting pressure on Dnipro, the city of Dnipro. You can start putting pressure on the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhia. Guys, listen, this is a dire situation right now. And look, ladies and gentlemen, like I've been saying, everybody's been coming up with it on the live stream. Oh, the Russians are about to fail. They're about to collapse. They're not, guys. They're not. Let's just be honest. They're not. It's like being in a boxing match. Being in a boxing match and you're getting your ass beat, and then the guy. Actually, I remember. Well, when I was in the army, I was in the boxing team, and I was getting my ass kicked by this guy called. I'm not saying, but he's a good friend of mine. He's a Scottish guy. I don't know if he's watching. He's a Scottish guy. He's like 6'2", blonde hair, blue eyes, built like an absolute Adonis, all right? And I was talking to him in the boxing. I said, hey, mate, am I on, guys? Am I back? Guys, I don't even know if I'm back. Am I back? Am I back? Are we back? Guys, can you guys let me know in the chat if I'm back or not? I don't know. I think I'm streaming. I think I'm streaming. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, thank you, guys. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I tried triple streaming again. The TikTok's just an absolute nightmare. So I closed the TikTok down because, look, with YouTube doesn't restrict me as much, so I am on YouTube, okay? So look, I've jumped over to I tried triple streaming, but it wasn't, you know, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. TikTok want to keep jumping me off and kicking me off because I'm repeating, TikTok want to keep kicking me off because because people call me a retard. That is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine, you know. I'm just not going to use them as a streaming platform. Anyway, listen, guys, okay, so let's rewind a little bit. I don't know where you guys got cut off. So we are talking today about, I've got an exclusive update from people I've been speaking to on the ground in Ukraine. On the ground, you know, guys, not even that. On the ground in Pokrovsk. So for those of you guys who don't know, Pokrov's right now, it's getting absolutely hammered by Russians. They're really pushing, they're driving, and they're going to take that town. The update that I've got for you guys, and I'll tell you guys real quick, is that town has already fallen. It looks like the town of Pokrovsk has already fallen. I was speaking to my friend. He said, "Listen, you know what, Sean? We've got all our assets out of that town. We've gone. We've left. We went 2 days ago. So, and I've not spoken to him for a while, actually, to be fair." So it does look like that town of Pokrovsk has fallen. Now, this will get, and look, ladies and gentlemen, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is my analysis, speculation. You guys take this information with a pinch of salt. Do whatever you want with it. I'm giving you the information that I've had today. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for me? What does that mean for people in the United Kingdom? Well, that town of Pokrovsk is the last stronghold between the Russian forces and the River Dnipro. There's nothing in the way now, guys. There's nothing in the way. So one of the main problems was the Ukrainians did not build depth positions. They didn't, and I know that with 100% certainty. There are no Ukrainian depth positions. The only thing now stopping the Russians from driving easily to the River Dnipro is the weather. That is the only thing that's going to slow them down, guys. Now, I'm going to speculate from what I know of the Russian, from what I know of Russian tactics, from what I know of that, what's the word I'm looking for? That culture. And look, guys, when I give you guys this information and this analysis and this, Helen is saying, Sean, that was so hurtful. Helen MG, what was hurtful? Helen MG, I hope I'm not. Helen MG, I hope that. What do we mean, Helen MG? I hope I've not hurt you. The Potsinator is saying the camera quality is so much better now. Yeah, guys, look, with the camera quality, I do apologize. I was trying to triple stream again. I'm just going to stick to YouTube now. I think I'm just going to stick to YouTube from now on, guys, because TikTok is so restrictive. When I'm streaming on TikTok, I'm literally on eggshells. I'm like, oh, right. Literally, the reason I got banned from TikTok was, you know what's actually funny? It's actually funny, actually. I was banned from TikTok, so I had like 5 days off or something. I don't know what I think 5 days. They banned me for 5 days. When I jumped on TikTok and I clicked on, it said, "Congratulations, you are in the top 100% of all TikTok live streamers." And I was like, wow, I've had 5 days off and I'm still beating everyone else. Do you know why? Because I am an absolute alpha. I do not take second place. I'm a winner. I eat my chicken dinner, and sometimes I have hot chili sauce on it. Hang on, guys. But right, look, guys. Let me give you this update. So it does look like the town of Pokrovsk, from what I'm hearing from my sources on the ground. And when I say sources on the ground, I don't mean a mainstream media that's giving you guys some sort of diluted political spin. When I give you guys my on-the-ground sources, they are people taking and breaking. Those are people in the firefight who have said, right, we have lost. We're gonna leave this place. We're gonna come back. We are going to come back and we're gonna extract. So that is what looks like. Okay, so why does that matter to you guys? Well, first of all, now the town of the media call Pokrovsk a city. It's not a city, guys. It's not a city. I mean, I could even argue that it's a town, but I'm going to call it a town. So the town of Pokrovsk has fallen. That's what I'm hearing from now, guys. That's what I'm hearing from now. Hang on, Donna's just jumped up. Sean, can you touch base on this? Pentagon cleared, giving Ukraine long-range Tomahawk missiles, leaving final decisions to drop. Okay, so This is going to be a financial decision. Donna. So Donna, is that Donna Hogan? I think this is Donna Hogan. You've changed your, okay, I think this is Donna Hogan, whatever. But Donna is saying, Sean, can you touch base on this? The Pentagon have Pentagon cleared giving Ukraine long-range Tomahawk missiles, leaving the final decision up to Trump. Okay, so first of all, a couple of things. One, it's not going to be a disruptive technology. Why? Because the Ukrainians already have that technology. The Tomahawk missile only delivers 450 kilos of payload, which in today's battlefield, it's not that much. It really isn't, guys. I know it sounds a lot, but it's not. What numbers are they going to be able to supply them in? Limited. Now, you've got to look at the financial aspect of this. The United States have it. Look, guys, ladies and gentlemen, do you know why I give you guys such granular analysis? Listen to this, what I'm saying now, guys. You're not, I promise you, you guys will not get this anywhere else. Go listen to your mainstream media outlets. They will not give you anywhere near a granular response as this. I'm going to go down now, guys. I'm going to go down to absolute granularization of this. So the United States, they're not going to want to give Tomahawk missiles to the Ukrainians. They're not. Donald Trump is not going to want to do that. Do you know why? It's got nothing to do with tactics, strategy. It's got nothing to do with rights, human rights, democracy. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do with sales. So let's just take this for context, guys. Imagine the scene, all right? Imagine this, all right? The Ukrainians get given Tomahawk missiles. And they're obviously the United States will give them older Tomahawk missiles because they're not going to want to give them their new shit. So now the Ukrainians use these long-range missiles on the Russians. What happens if the Russians shoot them down? You know, what happens if... hang on, guys. Hang on, guys. I may have an update here from Ukraine. Sorry, that was an update from Ukraine, but I can't give you that because it's sensitive. So, what happens if look, guys, I'm going to ask you the questions. What happens if the United States give the Ukrainians these Tomahawk missiles and then the Russians shoot them down? Do you know what happens to the producer of Tomahawk? Which I think it's Raytheon. I think it's Raytheon who produced Tomahawk. I may be wrong, guys. I may be wrong. Somebody put it in the chat. So what happens to United States sales of Tomahawks if those missiles are shot down by the Russians? Sales. No sales. People start to buy Russian. It's all about money, guys. It's all about money. So where Donna is saying, I think it's Donna Hogan, where Donna is saying, can you touch base on this? Pentagon cleared giving Ukraine long-range Tomahawk missiles, leaving the final decision to Trump. Trump ain't going to want to ruin the U.S. economy. Trump is going to want this mystique about U.S. weapons. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you the honest answers right now. Drone warfare is changing everything because now, rather than launch these big long-range missiles with these, with these tiny little payloads of 450 kilos, you can launch for like an absolute fraction of the cost. You can look, guys. Let's not pretend the same aspect isn't happening on the Russian side. In a minute, guys, I'm going to talk about Venezuela. Venezuela have asked for Russian air defense systems, and they've asked for Russian to help defend them. I am going to talk about that in a second, guys. I will. But what you've got to understand now, ladies and gentlemen, okay? War is profitable. A lot. Oh, hang on a minute. Angela Dawson has just become a new member. Thank you so much. And can I pin this? Angela Dawson has just become a new member. Thank you so much, Angela Dawson, for becoming a new member. I struggle with my phone. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, as of tomorrow, the 1st of November, I'm going to start doing members only videos. I used to do this on TikTok, guys. I'll be doing short videos for members only, pretty much like the TikTok platform. But look, guys, I'm going to be quite honest. Those guys on TikTok, it's like when you're trying to stream on TikTok, it's like imagine how the streamers felt in Germany in 1942. It was horrific. But thank you so much, Angela Dawson. Thank you to welcome to the channel. I hope and I know for a fact you're going to become a powerful contributor to this channel and this community. Anyway, look, ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about long range missiles for Ukraine, when we're talking about these long range missiles for Ukraine, you've got to understand in what numbers are these going to be effective. Oh, we're going to give them 10. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. 4.5 kilo, 4.5 ton of explosives. It's going to do jack shit, guys. It's going to do jack shit. The Ukrainians need more men. Like any conflict, ladies and gentlemen. Look, guys, whether you want to believe me or not, it's totally fine. Every conflict is decided by private soldiers with bayonets, 5.56, or 5.45 and grenades. That is it. Bust. Let me throw this out there as well. So for you guys who've been like, have you guys noticed? I know a few people on X have noticed this as well. Have you got? Do you know what? I can get a brandy now, can't I? Shall I get a brandy? Let me get a brandy, guys. It is Halloween. Let me get a brandy. Wait there. Oh, right. Where are we? Oh, God, this is phenomenal. Honestly, that's all I've got left. That's all I've got left. Yeah, I make it all myself because I'm rock and roll, because I'm an absolute alpha. Just a tiny bit. Maybe a bit more. That'll do. I don't want to waste it, guys, because it is absolutely phenomenal. I am going to hold this in my hand a little bit until it warms up. So let me just finish off with Ukraine a minute, guys, and then we'll jump over to Venezuela. Because, look, ladies and gentlemen, the world is about to explode. And let's not, like I said right at the beginning of this live stream, let's not unconsider that here in the United Kingdom, we are on the absolute brink of a civil war, the likes that if you've been to a war zone, you know what's coming. If you're a veteran, if you've been to Iraq, if you've been to Afghanistan, if you've been to Sierra Leone, if you've been to, if you've been to those places, you kind of understand what's coming. But here in the United Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget what is on its way, because it's going to be wild, guys. I promise you, it's going to be absolutely wild. So just as a roundup then, guys, for the Ukraine front, it looks like the town of Pokrovsk has fallen. I was speaking to people I know. I've known them for a few years. They're credible people. They have they have. I trust them. And they're telling me that they've already moved their people out of Pokrovs. The town of Pokrovs has fallen. That's what they're telling me, and I believe them. So, in a couple of days, in a couple of weeks, maybe next week or something, when it comes out on the mainstream media, and the mainstream media says, the town of Pokrovs has now fallen, I'm giving you guys that information before. And I believe these guys. I was kind of alluding to it earlier anyway. So what that means now is there's nothing to stop the Russians to move up to the River Dnipro. When we're talking, as Donna jumped in, as Donna contributed earlier, and she was saying about the long-range weapons, the Tomahawk missiles being given to Ukraine. Even if that does happen, it's not going to be a game changer. It's not going to be anything that the Ukrainians don't already have. It's nothing that's going to, all that's going to do is going to be detrimental to the United States. Because can you imagine, like I've said, can you imagine global sales of Tomahawk missiles? Whatever countries buy Tomahawk missiles, I don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to Google this real quick. What countries use Tomahawk missiles? Okay, so we've got the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Netherlands, and Japan. Okay, so those countries wouldn't stop buying them anyway. So maybe, you know what, guys? I'm going to, no. Australia, the Netherlands, regardless. Either way, it's not going to be good for sales, is it? The United States, obviously, they produce the Tomahawk missiles. The United Kingdom, the UK's Royal Navy operates Tomahawk missiles from its nuclear submarine fleet. Australia, the Royal Australian Navy. Oh, look, guys, I don't think we're going to have a Royal much longer. I don't. I think what's happening with Andy Windsor. I think what's happening with Andy Windsor, and I know I spoke about this earlier, is going to be is a lot bigger than people can even consciously comprehend. And I don't mean any disrespect, but you probably can't comprehend what's coming. Netherlands, the Royal Netherlands Navy is another operator of the Tomahawk missiles, and Japan. So interestingly, Japan just purchased 400 Tomahawk missiles. Now, I think they're like 1.3 million each. Let me just check this. I know this is not going to be the best. 1.3 million each. That's from AI, guys. So the approximate cost of the Tomahawk missile is 1.3 million. However, prices can be higher for certain variations, like maritime strike versions, which cost 4.1 million. Okay, but we'll go with 1.3 million, guys, because that's what I thought. I'm pretty sure it's Raytheon. Oh, no, it's General Dynamic. Totally wrong, guys. It's General Dynamic. GD, is it really? Okay, whatever. Right, it's General Dynamic, guys, that make... it's General Dynamic that make Tomahawk missiles. I swear that was Raytheon. Oh, no, it is Raytheon. Yeah, sorry, it is Raytheon. Sorry. Manufacturer. It was General Dynamic. But now it's Raytheon that made it. Oh, guys, you know what? I give you guys this information, and I'm on the live stream, and you guys are asking me questions in real time, and I give you guys information and analysis and speculation. Does it not astound you how much that I actually know? When I say I'm wrong, I'm not actually wrong, I'm right. And when you guys are asking me for granular explanations, I just do that straight away. Is that not the best reason to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification? I know it is, guys. I know it is. So look, ladies and gentlemen, it does look like the situation in Ukraine is dire. Right now, it's dire. Like I've said long enough, the situation in Ukraine is dire. The Ukrainians need more men. That's it. They don't need long-range Tomahawk missiles. They don't need a new tank. They don't need a new aircraft. They need more men. They need more infantry with bayonets, 5.56, and hand grenades. That's what they need. Nothing else. Everything else is bullshit, guys. That's what they need. And Gene Prothrow has also become a member. Oh, sorry, Gene Prothrow has also become a member. Thank you for becoming a member, Gene Prothrow. I appreciate, guys, I appreciate all the members. Tomorrow, I am going to start doing the members only short videos, guys. Found out how to do it now. Listen, guys, I'm new to all this social media stuff and the streaming. My background and my expertise, if you've not guessed, is military, it's analysis, it's military industrial complex. And when I give you guys these granular explanations to random questions, that is just confirmation to you guys that I know what I'm talking about. Right, let me jump down. Hang on. Cheryl is saying, oh my God. So Sherry actually. So Sherry Helplestone is saying, oh my God, I've just seen a drone in Barnsley. I'm going to assume, Sherry, that what you're talking about is a police drone. Now, the police have been using drones for a long time. You can imagine, so Sherry, you can imagine the cost of a police helicopter. They're like maybe three. It's like to put a police helicopter in the air. It's maybe like, I don't know, $3,000 an hour or something to keep a police helicopter in the air. And essentially, all that police helicopter is a camera. Is a camera in the air that you can operate from 20 kilometers away or whatever. So. Yes, I know the police have been operating drones for a long time. Again, it may be military. I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at. But Sherry is saying, "Oh my God, oh my F God." I'm saying that. I'm assuming the F is fantastic. Oh my fantastic God! I've just seen a drone in Barnsley. Look, Sherry, just for context, and I know. Look, guys, just. To Sherry here. Sherry, can you imagine now if that drone was dropping bombs or that drone was chasing you? Can you imagine if it was chasing you? And that's the new aspect of warfare. That is the new aspect of warfare. Libby Widger. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Libby. You said it will affect the UK by the Ukraine thing. You said it would affect the UK by the Ukraine thing. What do you mean by that? Can you explain how? I'm trying to figure out your question, Libby. Libby, I'm going to answer what I think you're asking, and I mean no disrespect. I think the spell check may have got you. So Libby is saying, Libby, if I'm not answering the right question, please throw it back to me. I think what Libby is asking is, you said it would affect the UK. What's happening in Ukraine? What do you mean by that? Okay, so what I mean by that exactly is the United Kingdom is now taking the leading role with this coalition of the willing. Now, the coalition of the willing is the people the countries basically, who have said they are going to support Ukraine. I mean, look, guys, the United Kingdom has given 4.5 billion to Ukraine this year. Look, guys, I would be happy myself with 2 billion. If the British government gave me 2 billion, I would be happy to go and live in a castle, go mad, have guards, and just be insane. But what I mean exactly here is every footstep every footstep that the Russians take, sorry, not the Ukrainians, every footstep that the Russians take towards Europe is a footstep closer to British military boots on the ground in Ukraine. Let me just real quick, let me just share with this because I'm doing the, hang on guys, give me a second. I'll share this with you in a second. Let me just repeat this. Okay. So for you, Libby, let me just, okay. So Libby's question is, what does this mean? And I'll give you a map analysis now, Libby. So, Libby, I'm going to jump now to a map analysis for you, Libby, for you, all for Libby. So, Libby, this is Ukraine. If I hang on, wrong way. I've not even on my brand yet. So, Libby, this is Ukraine here. You know, I'm not meaning to insult anyone's intelligence. You've got Kiev, you've got the River Dnipro, you've got Belarus, and you've got Russia. The area shaded in red is Russian occupied territory. So you can see how much of the country of Ukraine the Russians have already occupied. What I've been talking about for such a long time is the city of Pokrovsk. Well, it's not a city, it's a town, which is here. Now, this town of Pokrovsk there, that's a key location because it's a fortress town. The Ukrainians have put a lot of effort into defending that. Now, the Russians are very good at doing something called a pincer movement. They've come from the south and they've come from the north. And what they're trying to do is encircle it from the south and the north. They're not actually interested in taking it on head on because it's highly fortified. So to take it on, like to do a frontal assault, the Russians would lose a lot of people. So what they're doing is they're coming from the sides, they're coming from the flanks, and what they're going to do is close this up. Now, let me just get the ruler on here. I'm going to go there as, hang on, ruler number 1, and I'm going to go there as ruler number 2. So that is a distance of, I mean, you could argue it's a little bit less because I've gone before it. But look, that is a distance there of 10.11 kilometers. I can run that in well under an hour. So I could run that distance in well under an hour. Well under an hour, like ridiculously under an hour. Probably like 45 minutes. I'm not going to lie. 45 minutes I could run that distance. Yeah, I could actually run that distance in 45 minutes. Obviously, undulating ground. I may have to like shoot my way through a Russian roadblock or something. So it may take me a couple more minutes, but no more than 46 minutes. Now, what you've got to ask yourselves is, how quickly can the Russians close this gap? Because once that town of Pokrovsk has gone, which is a fortified town, there is nothing here, guys. Hang on, let me, because there is nothing from here to here. 130 kilometers. There is nothing there. Absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing but open countryside. There's nothing to stop the Russians now. If that town of which, listen, guys, if you guys are on the live stream, I've already talked about this. The town of Pokrovsk, I'm being told from my sources on the ground that the town of Pokrovsk has already fallen. That's what I'm hearing from my sources on the ground. They've already extracted. So if the town of Pokrovsk falls, there is nothing now to stop the Russians to make it all the way up to the Dnipro. And if they take the river, if they get up to the river Dnipro, they've now taken this like little triangular region here, which means they have maybe another eighth of the country. If you take Dnipro, you've got steel. If you take Zaporizhzhia, you've got nuclear power. And all this region down here, guys, it's all, you know, and every footstep that the Russians take closer here, we become closer to Europe, which is here, and again, you know, it may sound like, oh God, that's miles away. That's miles away. Do you know what? It is miles away. I agree. But every day the Russians are taking ground and there's no stopping it. There is absolutely zero stopping it, guys. Absolutely zero. Libby Widger, I hope I answered that question for you. And Libby, if I didn't answer that, answer. Libby, if I didn't answer that question for you, please let me know what I didn't answer. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping now. We are going to jump. We've talked about Ukraine. We talked about Ukraine. The situation. Oh, hang on, let me take Libby's comment down. So we've talked about Ukraine, guys. We are now going to talk about Venezuela. So Venezuela is ready for an attack. I'm going to give you guys the headlines, and then we're going to get granular into these things. So Venezuela is requesting missiles, radars from Russia amid U.S. tensions. Trump quiets fears of U.S. strikes inside Venezuela, at least for now. Is quoting the Independent. We're going to start with this one, guys, and then I'm going to jump over to what the Venezuelans are asking for. Look, before we get into this, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like this should have been 2 live streams. God, that smells good. Before we get into this, what we've got to understand is the Cuban Missile Crisis. This, and you've got to understand these world leaders, and you've got to understand the world leaders. So you've got to understand what happened in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, I've done this quite a few times on the live stream. Am I going to do it again? I don't have time to do it again, guys. I'm looking at the time, and if anybody wants me to explain the Cuban Missile Crisis to them, put it in the chat, and I will do that. But the Cuban Missile Crisis basically hit its crescendo in 1962. Now, in 1962, it was a very peculiar time in human history. We had a young boy, by we, I mean the planet, had a young boy who was 11. I think he was 11. And his name was Vladimir Putin. And at 11 years old, you are very impressionable. You're soaking everything up. You know, you are soaking everything up, guys. In 11 years old, you're soaking all this information up. So what I'm saying is, in 1962, Vladimir Putin was at a very impressionable age. He may have been 12. I'm pretty sure he was 11. So at the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis, Vladimir Putin was at a very impressionable age. And I would argue, and I've always argued, that the beginning to the end of the Soviet Union happened in 1962, when Nikolai Khrushchev turned his ships around. So now we've got the very same impressionable boy in 1962. He's now the leader of Russia. So now you've got to ask yourselves, that boy who saw the Cuban Missile Crisis and then witnessed the fall of the Soviet Union, something that he held dear to himself. And look, guys, whether you believe this or not, it's totally up to you. It doesn't matter. Vladimir Putin certainly does believe it. I believe in liberal Western democracy. I believe in space exploration. I believe we need to get off this planet rather than staying on it and fighting wars with each other. I've been very clear about that. But some people do not. So Vladimir Putin was at a very impressionable age at that time. Now, it looks like we have Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0 mounting, because the Venezuelans have now asked for support from the Russians. Now, look, guys, if we get to a situation like the Cuban Missile Crisis, where the Russians are sending ships to reinforce Venezuela, potentially to reinforce Cuba as well, because I know they've come back on the radar. And Donald Trump does a Kennedy, and he says, okay, you want to bring your ships down? That's absolutely fine. They're in international water. If you go past this line, we're going to sink them. How do you think Donald Trump is going to react, looking at history? Because, ladies and gentlemen, like I keep saying so many times, those people who do not understand history are doomed to repeat it. So I would speculate, and it will be my professional opinion, and my professional opinion is pretty vast, guys. It's pretty vast. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm pretty much like the Dumbledore. I'm like the Dumbledore. I'm like the Dumbledore of military analysis. People, seriously, they come to me still and they ask me questions and I give them the answers and they don't believe me. I say, no, mate, that's going to happen. And then it happens because I want to talk about aliens and space exploration and alternate dimensions. But look, let's get back on track, okay? My professional opinion, if Keir Starmer came up to me and look, guys, I have worked in those high government echelons before. If Keir Starmer or US, whoever, Pete, good old Pete. In fact, I need to text some guy back, actually. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Because I have asked one of my friends if I can go for drinks with Pete Hegseth. I don't know, I need to text him back. Sorry about that, guys. I do apologize. So it will be my professional opinion. You know, I'd stop fooling around. I'd say, right, okay, mate, here's the deal. If Vladimir Putin sends down, if the Venezuelans ask for Russian assistance and the Russians send down a bunch of ships to Venezuela and those ships are sunk, I would say Putin is going to strike. That's what I'm going to say, guys. You know, I don't believe Putin would turn those ships back because remember how old he was at the Cuban Missile Crisis. And like, you've got to understand these world leaders. You've got to understand where they came from. And people don't do that. People don't do that. People don't look at the world leaders. They don't look at this world leader. They don't look what shaped their upbringing. They don't look what shaped their careers. Right, guys, look, before I continue with Venezuela, I'm just conscious I've missed a lot of the chat. Let me jump up and get some of the chat. Guys, did the lady who I answered her questions, did she respond to me? I don't know if she did or not. Let me just jump down. What was her name? Right, okay. Listen, guys, I always try and prioritize these messages because I can see Libby's a bit worried. Libby Widger is saying, thank you, I get it now. Do you think Russia will strike the United Kingdom? No. There is no case use for Russia to strike the United Kingdom. So I always try and look, guys, I'm not being I always want to try and ease people's anxieties because I know there's a lot of anxieties. And one of the main reasons I started this channel and one of the main reasons we started doing social media is because back in 2002, when the Russians invaded, where they did the 2002, the main invasion of Ukraine, my mum, she turned up 2 Aldi carrier bags. One was full of chunky soup and the other one was full of UHT milk and tea bags. And she was all makeup and smudge. And she was crying. She's like, if Putin nukes us, can I come? And I'm like, we're miles away from that, Mum. Don't worry. So I do understand that there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of people get worried. So, Libby, indirect response to your question. No, the Russian. Okay, let me caveat this. Let me give context and granularization. No, the Russians will not strike the United Kingdom, in my opinion, which is like beyond. Look, if you're listening to mainstream media, don't listen to them. I am like 3, 4, 5 levels above what they know. No, the Russians are not going to send any sort of missiles to hit the United Kingdom. The real threat to the United Kingdom comes from sabotage. That's the real threat, Libby. I've done lots of videos in that. So no, the Russians are not going to strike the United Kingdom with missiles, they are going to use saboteurs. And by saboteurs, that I mean paid criminal gangs. James is saying, I've been to Cuba. I've never been to Cuba. You pay to get in and pray to get out. And pray to get out. Literally, you had to pay to leave the country. Me and my mate was watching that film the other day. What's the film? Miami Vice. I feel I should be like one of the characters in Miami Vice. You know, he gets in the boat with the girl, and he's like, and she's like, I know where they do a great mojito, and they go to Cuba on the boat. That's pretty cool. Listen, guys, I've never been to Cuba. I wouldn't be able to comment. Right, I'm going to jump down, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to jump down. Philip Gray is saying, what's happening? Right, Philip Gray, I'm going to give you a quick update. Listen, guys, I'm looking at the time. I think we're going to be on for a lot longer tonight. Do you know what? We are going to be on for a lot longer tonight. Hang on. Have you guys noticed I've not had a sip of this yet? It just smells so good. And these glasses are called Ravenhead glasses. God, honestly, guys, that smells so good. I nailed that brandy. God, that is good. Oh, yeah, it is. So, Philip Gray, what's happening? So, the town of Pulcroves, I'm hearing from my sources that the town of Pulcroves has already fallen. This may come out in the mainstream media in a couple of days, maybe next week or something. That's what I'm getting from my sources on the ground. What that means is there is nothing now but open country. In fact, let me just share the map with you guys real quick. What that means is there is nothing now but open countryside between between the Russian front line. So there we go. There's nothing now between the Russian front line, which is obviously the red bits, and the river Dnipro. And like I've said so many times, there is no realistic prospect of a ceasefire until the Russians get to the river Dnipro. Why? Because why would you? If you're the Russians and you're pushing forwards every day, taking ground, taking 200 meters here, 200 meters there, 300 meters here, 500 meters there, why would you stop taking that ground and coming to a ceasefire? You wouldn't do that, guys. It makes absolutely zero sense. Also, the situation from Venezuela, guys, the situation from Venezuela right now, it looks dire. It looks like we could have a Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0, but take out the word Cuba and put Venezuela, because the Venezuelans are now asking for Russian assistance. They're asking for Russian radar. They're asking for Russian missile defense, which is top game, guys. It is. Russian missile defense is top. Russian air defense, sorry, not missile defense, which is the same thing, but it's very didactic. The Russian air defense is top game, guys. It really is top game. I would say the Russian S5, you know what, I'm not going to say it. The Russian S500 is better than the Patriot missile defense, guys. The Patriot missile defense, it does not pack a big enough punch. It doesn't pack a big enough punch. Equally, the Patriot defense does not pack a... What's the word I'm looking for? The Patriot defense is not rapid enough either. So it's not like it can deal with a lot of small drones, because it can't. And it's not like it can deal with the big stuff either, because it can't. So the Patriot defense system, is it Patriot? Patriot missile defense, sorry. The Patriot system, I don't think, I think very soon. I think one of the things that showed in Ukraine was, and this is why I don't think Donald Trump is going to give them Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, is a financial reason. Because if you like the Patriot missile defense, system, the Patriot missile defense system, the Patriot air defense system, the Russians have been able to probe that. The Russians have been able to get past that. So now, can you imagine if you're a third country and you're thinking, right, we need some missile defense. Yeah, let's buy the Patriot system. And you're looking and you're thinking, well, hang on a minute. The Patriot can be penetrated. And look, guys, if you're a Patriot, you may or may not want to be penetrated. And I'm just going to say real quick, Charlie Kirk's ex-wife and her cuddle with JD Vance, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I'm asking questions there. I am asking questions there. You guys know what I'm talking about, right, fam? Ladies and gentlemen, right, I need to go to the toilet real quick, guys. Give me a second. I'm going to go to the toilet. I'm going to come back. This live's going to be a lot longer than I expected, guys. This live stream is going to go a lot longer. I'm going to have a little sniff. No, not that sniff, you weirdos. Brandy. You only ever sip brandy, guys. Don't drink it. I'm going to go to the toilet. I'll be back on. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Right, listen, we are not touching Charlie Kirk and his wife and JD Vance. We're not, guys. We may save that for another video. What we are focusing on today, ladies and gentlemen, is the exclusive update I've had from on the ground in Ukraine. Does look like the town of Pokrovsk has fallen and Venezuela is ready for an attack. Right, let me jump over here, guys. I'm going to give you guys more information on what the Venezuelans have been at. Was it Maduro or something? Look, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't know him if I saw. I wouldn't know him if I saw him in the street. So, Venezuelan dictator Maduro is requesting military aid from Russia. That's the reality, and this is from I think the Washington Post have been reporting this, which was reported today, citing confidential documents reviewed by, let me put this back on charge, confidential reports viewed by the outlet. The request comes amid escalating tensions in the Caribbean Sea as the U.S. military carries out strikes on suspected drug trafficking vessels. And Washington reportedly considers airstrikes on Venezuelan military facilities, allegedly used for drug smuggling. Look, guys, if you think that this stuff doesn't happen in other countries, you know, it happens at such high level, you wouldn't believe it happens. You know, look in the United Kingdom, guys. And I remember when you guys were telling me, you know, I was getting a lot of inbox messages saying, so he just texted me back about potential beers and drinks with Pete Hegseth. If this happens, guys, do you guys want to come on me? Do you guys want to come with me on a live stream? If this happens, guys, and I can get myself on beers with Pete Hegseth, are you guys going to, do you guys want me to do some videos while I'm out there? Do you guys want me to do some videos with me and Big Pete? Look, very small chance of this happening. Very small chance of this happening. But I am pushing for that because I do want to go out to the United States. We are looking at moving from the United Kingdom, and the United States is one of the places that I would consider moving. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue with this. So, Maduro allegedly wrote a letter to Vladimir Putin requesting repairs for radars, military aircraft, and possibly missile supplies. And this is according to a US government document obtained by the Washington Post. The document... Oh, I put my phone on charge. It's going crackers. Hang on, let me move it there. Let me move my phone there so it's quiet. And then I'll move this there. Maduro has also got a close relationship with the Russians, bolstering their shared animosity towards the West. Venezuela's president has denounced Western sanctions on Russia and backed Russia's war, in Ukraine. The documents also reported to show that Venezuelan authorities sought military support and equipment from China, Iran, to strengthen its country's defense capabilities. So here we literally, guys, right now, here we have the Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. You've got to understand, hang on. Legalize intellect. Please tell us, please, if you know what kind of event stopped the Chinese Empire conquering the world in 1400, in circa 1400. Well, you're jumping me on the spot, but wasn't it the weather? Wasn't it the weather? I think it was the weather. Am I right? Did I win? Legalize intellect. That's my answer. I think it was the weather. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I wasn't around in 1400. What I do know is the world has changed a little bit since 1400. But please enlighten me with your vast knowledge of ancient Chinese history. I would be open to. I'll be happy to listen. So look, guys. What we understand here from Maduro, Putin, the situation that's happening there is, if you guys have been following my videos, you understand about the Cuban Missile Crisis and all the rest of the stuff that happened. I do not believe for 1 second that Putin would turn around those ships and go back. Putin would let those ships get sank and then he would strike whoever hit them. That's where I'm going with this, guys, okay? You've got to understand history. You've got to know history. You understand the past. You can predict the future. James Brook is. Are you responding to something else, James Brook? So James Brook is saying, so 1,000 guys dressed in black with balaclavas on, and the fuzz did nothing. They're scared. Excuse me, guys. Are you all yawning yet? I hope you're yawning because yawns are contagious. I don't know what that's in response to. James, are you talking about the guys that were out in Tower Hamlets in London? I think you are. Listen, guys, if you want to go down Tower Hamlets, right? So it turns out that the local councillors for Tower Hamlets are trying to become members of parliament in Pakistan and Somalia. Do you think there's a conflict of interest there? I would say yes. Look, guys, I think, and I don't think it's unfair, and I don't think it's anything ending with ist. If you consider yourself a dual national, like, I don't know, British Somalian, British Eritrean, British Pakistani, I can go on. Any British American, British Canadian, British whatever. I think actually there should be something in place that says you cannot stand as a member of parliament for this country. It's like, you know, when I go to jobs, when I go to jobs doing consultancy, I have to tell them if there would be a conflict of interest. So say that I'm, you know, I don't know. Say that I built tanks. I don't build tanks. I don't know anything about tanks. Nothing about tanks. Or they're made of metal and they're heavy. But say if I went to build tanks, if I was a tank expert and I was working for a company that built, I don't know, Challenger 2 or whatever. Do you know what? That's a bad example. No, it's not. And then another tank company said, "Hey, Sean, do you want to come and consult for me on this project?" I would have to tell them, I said, "Mate, listen, I work for this company. They pay me. It would be a conflict of interest. So, you know, I just want you to know that I work for them. My contract's up with them at this time or whatever, and it may be a conflict of interest. And then if they continue, that's absolutely fine. Most of the times they won't let you do that. But it's just rules of the game, guys. It's rules of the game. You can't work for two companies doing the same thing. You can't. So, hey, riddle me this, riddle me that, Batman. If these councillors in Tower Hamlets are also members of parliament in their home countries, who are they loyal to? Are they loyal to their country, who's paying them more? Or are they loyal to their council? Like, do you not see how bad this is, guys? Like, do you not see how bad things are in the United Kingdom right now? It's phenomenal. Slim is saying, "I will ask the girl around the corner about their history. She will giggle and ask how long I have. They have been, I don't, Slim, are you inebriated? I hope you are inebriated, Slim. Slim is saying, I'll ask the girl around. Guys, can anybody else make sense of this comment? I will ask the girl around the corner about their history. Sure, okay, whatever. She will just giggle and ask how long I have. They have been around a long time, invented gunpowder, glass, steam power, etc. What a place." I'm pretty sure it's the British that invented the steam engine. In fact, I know for a fact it's the British that invented the steam engine. Gunpowder, I will go with the Chinese. Glass, you know, okay, I'm going to assume the girl you're talking about is a Chinese girl. Slim, take my advice, all right? Go and ask her out. Go and ask her out. Slim, look, I'm the last person to give anyone relationship advice. Slim, go and ask her out. Say, look, should we go out? We've not got long left on this planet. Shall we just go out and have a dinner or something? And, you know, use your vast intellect, your charm, your wit, your charisma, and woo her around. And maybe you'll have some children in a couple of years. From now, he's saying Trump doesn't want Iran having nukes. I'm getting a bit worried about Trump having nukes. Look, guys, the nuclear buildup between Iran and the United States has been going on since, I mean, it's been going on forever. The first, in fact, you know, let me, give me a second. No, that's not that one. It's 559. Sorry, guys, give me a second. There we are. So, look, guys, I'm going to share this screen with you. So, from now, he's saying Trump doesn't want Iran having nukes. It's not Trump, guys. This goes a lot deeper. This goes a lot deeper than Trump and Biden. It goes a lot deeper. So, from now, is saying Trump doesn't want... Okay, this is where it comes from, guys. This is literally where it comes from. It comes from 2003. Not 2003. 2023. I'm just going to share this. I'm going to share this with you now, ladies and gentlemen. It comes from this document here, which is from congress.gov. You guys can check this out yourself if you don't believe me. This is there it was. This was passed on the 1st, there, look, on the 1st of November, 2023. And there we have it, guys, okay? I'll read it to you. I'll read it to you, and then I will go to the segments. This resolution, this was 2023, guys, under Biden, 1st of November. So, like, tomorrow in 2023. 2 years ago tomorrow. Yeah, 2 years ago tomorrow. This resolution declares that it is the policy of the United States to use all means necessary to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, and 2, to support the freedom of action of partners and allies to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. So let's break this down, guys, what we know. This is this resolution. This resolution declares that it is the policy of the United States. Pretty much, you can understand that it's what it's U.S. policy now. That what follows is U.S. policy. To use, so it's U.S. policy, and this has been U.S. policies from 2023. It's been U.S. policy to use all means necessary. Now, that is a massive statement, guys, when it's written like that. All means necessary. It means nothing is off the table. To prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Now, they don't use the word developing. They use obtaining, which is key. And to support freedom of action of partners and allies to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Israel. So when I tell you guys that the United States are going to have a war in the Middle East using their regional partners, Israel, it's not me saying it, guys. It's me looking at the information that's presented with me, looking at the information that's been passed in US Senate and saying, okay, that's where they're going. Like, all the information is out there, guys. You just need to know where to look. Oh, Slimmy says she already has a family of her own, one of which has just left school. Her husband would be right annoyed and spitting my dinner. Oh, I'm sorry, Slim. Go and speak to her, Slim. You never know your chances. They may be in a bad relationship. Oh, hang on. Googleino is saying AK-47 online chat and a pumpkin day refers to an FBI. What? AK-47's online chat and a pumpkin day reference lead FBI to advert a potential ice. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So pumpkin. Okay. So Okay. So in Islam, celebrating Halloween is haram. It's haram, guys. It's so bad. If you celebrate Halloween in Islam, it is so haram. And haram means like bad, and Allah is watching. So I think that's what we are talking to. The FBI have thwarted. The FBI have thwarted an attack, and they did that by using the Pumpkin Day reference. Hang on a minute. Who's saying that the Chinese invented this thing? I'm sure I saw
Guys, somebody, I swear somebody just put on the chat there. Oh, I've not even got the chat on. There's chat. There's the chat. Now we're rolling. Now it's a party. Somebody on the chat said that the British didn't invent the steam engine. How dare you? Of course. Look, guys, everything of any relevance has been invented by the British. Every law, legislation, the free world has been orchestrated by the British, and now we're in this spiral of self-annihilation. We're in a self-annihilating spiral. James is saying so. Oh no, he's not saying so. Oh, James is saying, where is Trump about to attack? Well, it's South America. Which is the southern hemisphere. Most of the world population live northern. Okay. What we've got to understand is, for the United States to take Venezuela, it's like it would be like okay. So to put this into context, guys, let me move that because James's question is blocking my beautiful face, and I know you guys want to see my beautiful face and fantastic hair, blue eyes, and beautiful complexion, guys. Look, I'm 43. Can you actually believe I'm 43 years old and I'm still doing 6-minute miles? Can you believe that, guys? Am I not just the ultimate? But James is saying, where is Trump about to attack South America? Okay, so look, you've got to understand, for the United States to go into Venezuela and take Venezuela, it's not even going to slow the United States down. Venezuela will be over in a week. It will be over in a week, guys, Venezuela. It really will. Oh, hang on a minute. Also, Googly is saying gunpowder wasn't invented by China. It was invented by the Eastern Han Dynasty. Right. Okay. Are we being okay? What I guys, honestly, I don't know the answer to this. I'm just asking a question. Would the Eastern Han Dynasty geographically be where China is now? I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that question. The Watchman is saying we invented. I think we did, guys. Listen, guys, if anybody wants to comment me and anybody wants to call me out on this, I'm pretty sure as well that the English actually invented the Earth. Before the English invented it, there was no Earth, and I'm pretty confident with that as well. Libby is saying, if Putin hits US ships, would it trigger Article 5 and war? Okay, well, you've got to put a lot of this into context with Libby. So, okay, guys. Look, guys. When I give you guys this analysis, I go really granular. If these US ships were taken down by Russian warships, then absolutely. I don't know if it would trigger Article 5. Yeah, of course it would. Yeah, of course it would trigger Article 5. But look, guys, we've got to understand. The United States, look, when we're talking about global conflicts, the Americans don't need anyone to help them. They really don't. Like, the Americans have the world's biggest air force, US Air Force. They also have the world's second biggest air force, the US Navy. And then the third biggest air force by a long way is the Chinese Air Force. So, like, and people like that air superiority is it's devastating, it's phenomenal, and it's absolutely beautiful in all contexts. So, if these attacks came from US ships or US missiles, yes, of course. If the US ships were sank by Russian missiles or Russian ships, yes, of course, absolutely. No, I'm missing the question. Hang on. If Putin hits the US ships, right, okay. So yes, that would happen. But what I think we're talking about here is the prospect of. Okay, right. Ladies and gentlemen, I have this thing where I read questions and I think I know what it means and it doesn't. So let's answer the question and then let me give context. So If Putin hit Russian ships, would it trigger an Article 5 on war? It would certainly trigger Article 5. You could argue about the war thing, but you'd certainly see a response. That's if Putin, if it was proven that these strikes came from Russian ships or wherever, Russian aircraft or whatever, Russian missile bases, doesn't matter. I've given lots of videos and I've talked about this for a long time, and I've said, I don't think that's going to happen. What I think the real threat in the seas are drone strikes from oil tankers. Now, the fantastic thing about firing a drone strike from an oil tanker is once those drones have left that oil tanker is literally just a sitting oil. It's a civilian oil tanker. So how do you deal with that? Because if you strike it, you're causing an environmental disaster. If you don't strike it, you're leaving yourself open to further strikes. So it becomes very difficult. But if we switch this around, which is where I think this is going, if we switch this around whereby the Russian ships are on their way to Venezuela with radars, with missile defenses or whatever, and the United States sank those ships, would that trigger Article 5? No, of course not, because Article 5 is something specifically to NATO. But I do think that would trigger a response from the Kremlin. Sorry, guys. I hope I hope I articulated that correct. James Brooke is saying, the guy who runs Facebook, Zuckerberg, he built a bunker in Hawaii. Is Hawaii in the northern or southern hemisphere? But most people in the world are in the northern hemisphere. See where I'm going now? Yeah. So, do you guys want to go down the rabbit hole of blue lasers? Right. Does anybody know what I'm talking about by blue lasers? Do you know what I'm talking about, guys? Or am I just going wild when I'm talking about blue lasers? So light. Right, guys, this is going to be the last thing I talk about, and then we're going to close this down. So light, I was talking to the girls earlier about this. I was arguing with them, actually, because do not confuse light with color. Don't confuse light with color. Totally different things. So blue laser, okay, blue light. So you know when you get white light, actually. White light, I've got all these. So white light, pain, maybe it was like being born. The time traveling experience was not being pleasant. So white light has all the color spectrum. You guys have seen Isaac Newton with the prism, and he splits the light. So blue light is faster than red light. That's the reality, guys. Okay, so you've got blue light at one end of a spectrum and red light of the other spectrum. So blue light is the fastest. Okay, now that's why the sky is blue. So why the sky is blue, I don't know if you guys know this. The reason the sky is blue, I am giving context, guys. Where do you get this information, guys? Where do you guys get such granular responses? You don't get them anywhere else, guys. That's why you guys need to like, comment, subscribe, share, bell notifications down there. If you guys want to become a member, I'm going to start doing members only short videos tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to be doing live. I'm not going to be live. I'm going to be doing members only short videos tomorrow, guys. Okay, so blue light is more energetic. It's faster. So that's why the sky is blue, and it's why the sea is blue, because the blue light hits the atmosphere first, and those blue photons diffuse in the atmosphere. That's why when you look up and it's blue. Where was I going with this? Yeah, Hawaii. So if you guys want to go down a rabbit hole, the houses that did not burn, for entertainment purposes only, speculation, trigger alert, guys, I've not been to Hawaii. I'm only giving you guys information that I know, that I've seen online. The houses in Hawaii, you know when there was this big fire, this big forest fire in Hawaii? The houses in Hawaii that had blue roofs, they didn't get burnt down. You guys want to speculate with that all you want. Now, people in China paint their roofs blue. You guys want to speculate? You guys want to go down rabbit holes with that? It's totally up to you. David Murray is saying, "Oh, I've fucking hell." I've still not had this, guys. It's still there and it smells fantastic. Won't be over in a week. Your women who won the Nobel Peace is lined up to take over. When she does, it will keep oil low. I don't know what that means, Davey. Oh, hang on. Google is saying, Sean, stop missing new art. Right, what's happened in the comments? Hang on, what's happened in the comments? Ukraine identifies, is this what we're talking about, guys? Ukraine identifies addresses of more than 300 abducted Ukrainian children. I don't know where I go with this, guys. I've seen media reports. that the Ukrainians are smuggling, like it's a child trafficking ring. I have, guys. I've seen these reports. Now, look, guys, if you guys want to know how, like, where my echelons are, a lot of those people that were implicated in those child smuggling rings, I know them. I've got them on WhatsApp. Literally, if you guys want to go down that and look at who've been implicated in these child smuggling rings, child trafficking rings, I know them. I will go out here, guys, and I will stand on myself and I will say I trust those people. I will, guys. I'll say I trust those people. And now I'm thinking, okay, so what does this actually mean? And I'm thinking that this is some sort of Russian propaganda. I do, guys. I think a lot of this is Russian propaganda because I do know a lot of I know 4 of these people, and probably all of them know me. But I know 4 of the people who have been accused on this child smuggling thing. And I will say to you guys right now, and I will stand by this, the people who they've implicated, maybe one of them, because he's a bit of a wrong one, but I will stand by this, guys, okay? The people they've implicated, I don't believe they're guilty. So now it brings the other questions, all right? Where do we go with this? Donna is saying, DMAX censored intel. YouTube US restricts access to press room near Oval Office. Ongoing situation. I don't know what that means, guys. Donna, I have no idea what that means. Trump's officials. Yes, I do know this actually. So the United States moved a load of their officials and their top brass into hardened facilities, basically where they are safe. Legalized intellect is saying Mountain Dew, and I'm assuming he means directed energy weapons, which is absolutely correct. Sean, it's an inside source on YouTube. Updates on all war situations. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. I'm going to finish this first. God, honestly, like, I can you smell that? I don't even want to drink it. It smells so good. I just want to keep smelling it. I will close this down now, ladies and gentlemen. The crux of this live stream has been an exclusive update from on the ground in Ukraine. I was speaking to my friends who, a friend of a friend actually, who's been out there in Pokrovs. He's telling me from the situation on the ground in Pokrovs, that town of Pokrovs has already fallen. It's just the mainstream media are not reporting on it yet. And look, guys, if you guys want to know how credible I am, and I'm standing by this, in the next couple of days, you're going to see if my intelligence is right, you guys will see that the town of Pokrovsk has fallen. So when I talk to you guys and I tell you guys other things, you kind of need to pay attention, guys, okay? So it doesn't look like the town of Pokrovsk has fallen. Venezuela is getting ready for an attack. They are asking for Russian munitions. They're asking for Russian assistance. Again, you may think that's not relevant. What you do need to understand is the situation where Putin was when he was at the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. He will have witnessed that. So I don't think Putin is going to do an Nikolai Khrushchev and back out, guys. I really don't. Do I think Trump is lying about no Venezuelan strikes? I think if the United States want to strike Venezuela, they will strike Venezuela regardless what Trump said. So I would say it may or may not be on the cards, but what I think is it doesn't matter what Trump says, he can change his mind. That's good. So they've got, okay, so so we've got to understand the wordplay here, guys, okay? They may have no bombers near Venezuela, but they have a shit ton of, they have a shit ton of ships, and those ships will be armed with Tomahawks. They'll be armed with other missiles. They'll have aircraft. So, and every aircraft's a bomber. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, and Googlino is saying Sean's drunk now. I'm not, guys. Do you think I'm drunk off a little glass of brandy? It is good brandy, though. That is good. That is good. God, that is good. I mean, really good. I'm going to try and make whiskey next. Do you know what, ladies and gentlemen? If you guys are members, I'm going to be doing short videos. I'm going to start doing short members-only videos tomorrow. So I'm going to be showing you around my little, my little fermenting yard where I'm making beer. I'm making beer, I'm making cider, I'm making red wine, white wine, rosé wine, which is just a mix, guys. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Look, guys, I'm going to close that down now. Just before I go, guys, the first thing before I go, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, guys. All those things that help this channel grow. If you guys want to know how credible I am as a news source, how credible I am before the mainstream media, I'm saying to you guys now that the town of Pokrovsk has already fallen. I've heard it from good knowledge that the town of Pokrovsk has already fallen, so I'm sticking with that, guys. So in the next couple of days, that's going to come out on the mainstream, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I think I'm just going to stick to YouTube now, guys. I'm not going to bother with TikTok. I am going to close this down now, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Happy Halloween, everyone, where the veil between worlds is thinnest. The veil between worlds is thinnest, guys. So if you have a nightmare or some sort of psychedelic vision tonight, just take for it what it is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. And until then, good night. Oh, hang on. Let me because it always helps when I get a comment up. And Donna, good old Donna, is it Donna Hogan? Donna Hogan, I can't respond to your messages on TikTok. I don't know why, but I can't respond to your messages on TikTok. So anyway, guys, good night, everyone. I wish you guys great Halloween. I'll see you guys tomorrow.